what's up, everybody? Welcome into Tom Curran's Patriots Talk podcast. It's a holiday week. I can't believe we don't have any adornments here. That's my bad. Phil, how you doing?
Doing great.
Good. Patriots still basking in the afterglow of that Sunday night win. What does it all mean? We'll get into it in just a moment. Here's Mike Vrabel on Monday talking about, well, his team and what it's all about.
I think we're pretty resilient. I think we've got a bunch of guys that can help us on any given night. I think that's something, But, I think we play hard. I hope that we play hard. I hope that comes off the screen, and it's no more evident here than the last play. And, play's never over. And, guys being able to chase the football on defense, and offensively, guys trying to finish longer than the guy with the ball and try to make some plays downfield and spring some guys. So, sometimes we don't always make the right decision. I hope we continue to work on that and focus on that, especially in the heat of the moment. But again, we just felt like we competed for 4 quarters.
Thank you, Mike. Phil, Pro Bowl balloting was done among fans.
Oh, goody.
Our fearless leader, Kevin Miller, he sent some of the fan poll results. Here are the finishers in the top 10 who play for the New England Patriots. You see there, Drake May, second, Pro Bowl balloting, good for him. Garrett Bradbury, 8th, he plays center. No guard, no tackle, no running back, no fullback, finishing in the top 10. Hunter Henry was 8th in fan voting. Wide receiver, none of them. Gonzalez, Christian, finishes 6th. No strong safety, no free safety, no inside linebacker. Outside linebacker, Harold Landry, 9th. No defensive end, no defensive tackle, no kicker, no long snapper, no punter, no return specialist. Schooler is 5th. Now, this is the fan vote. When we were on Postgame Live the other night talking about the 12-3 Patriots and the fact that you don't have to squint too hard to see they could actually be 15-0. When you bear that in mind, I don't care what their schedule looks like, that they have not laid an outright egg, that they haven't gotten blown out, that they haven't gotten demolished, that they haven't come to earth. When they have a roster that nobody in the league, or at least the fans, and I don't think the Pro Bowl is going to be that different when you look at the guys who get honored. Very few GMs around the league are going to look at that team and go, those guys are playing their asses off, but I need to have them. That's why I've said it a few times, enjoy this season, because it is to a large extent lightning in a bottle in a way that is wholly unexpected. Phil, what do you glean from it?
What I glean is that the fans need to wake up to just how damn good Marcus Jones is at returning punts.
Shoot.
What are we doing out there, fans? He's not even he doesn't even register as a return specialist?
No.
Okay. Well, that's a miss. I also would say Milton Williams, I know he's missed some time, but deserving of some stuff there too. I know that's not what you're asking me. You're not asking me about specific players. You're asking me about talent on the roster and the season that they're having. I think it gets back to the 2 most important people in the organization right now, who are Drake May and Mike Vrabel. And they appear to be the types of talents at their respective jobs that can raise all boats. And so for 2 people that you think are going to be here for a long, long time in the 2 most important positions in the organization outside of ownership, I think you have to feel pretty good about that as a fan, even though your players, your individual players on this year's roster are not crushing it in the Pro Bowl voting.
And that's what I mean. That's why I think that you need to, as a fan or even a media member, at least when you're objectively rendering an opinion on this team, give it respect for where it was, where it is now, how they are a little bit overmatched when they line up their X's against another team's O's and vice versa. Speaking about the oversights, just real quick, I could say Milton Williams should have a little bit of thought given in. I'm sure he's one of the 10 best defensive tackles. Marcus Jones. Bobby Spillane probably deserves to be somewhere in the top 10.
You just want him in there because he lets you call you Bobby.
I know.
Call him Bobby.
Call me
It'd be
Bobby.
weird if he started calling you Bobby.
Call me Bobby now. Stephon Diggs could even be floated a vote or some thought. And I would say Will Campbell. But the point is, this Patriots team on the field is a one-man gang. They are a one-man gang, and we watched it against the Ravens. They played spirited. They made plays. They forced the ball out. But without Milton Williams, without Robert Spillane, Caleb Von Chason got moved around a fair amount. He is not a top-tier defensive end, and probably Landry isn't either. He made a sick play at the end of the game. He made great plays during the game. I also saw him get rooted out by Rashad Bateman at one point and moved around fairly easily. This is not a good team, but it's resourceful. I'm mentioning Caleb Chase on because, yeah, there's going to be plays he loses, but he's also going to find a way to contribute because all of these guys are not navel-gazing babies. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, they're asking too much of me. Oh, I don't know. I don't get more snaps. And there's an expiration date on that kind of chemistry, Phil, I think.
There could be, although if you continue to win.
No, but I mean like on a year-to-year basis. You can't – teams come and go on that stuff, no?
They do, and maybe we're seeing an example of that in Philadelphia right now. I really do think that's where leadership matters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where, if it were me picking, I would be taking Mike Vrabel over Super Bowl winning head coach Nick Sirianni 10 times out of 10. I think he has a way with players that not a lot of head coaches do, Vrabel. And so if you're able to win, that has to come first. The winning has to come first. The navel-gazing and the baby, whatever attitudes you're talking about, will crop up on any team that loses on a regular basis. Coached by anyone. So you have to start with the winning, which starts with the quarterback. But then once you get that ball rolling with the right coach, I think you can avoid some of those potholes in a way that other organizations can't.
But if the coach reacts in a way when they lose, and we don't know that. We haven't seen Mike really lose. That will be interesting to watch down the road.
Sure.
How he reacts. But as you sit here right now, and I was just about to ask a question that's not on the script, are there any coaches that you would trade Mike Vrabel for? Or what tier is Mike in right now?
He's
won a dozen games.
I know.
He's
near the top, and I had him as a top 10 coach even before the season began.
So we'd go McVay, we'd go Reed.
I probably would go McVay at the top. And then Andy Reid would probably be in the top 5 somewhere, but I don't know if I'm looking to trade for Andy Reid, right? How many more years does Andy Reid have left?
How about Michael McDonald?
Michael McDonald's having a great year. He's doing a good job out there.
So we got Mike McDonald, Andy Reid. You got Sean McDermott up there. You got John Harbaugh up there.
No McDermott, no Harbaugh. Vrabel's I think
Bowles.
Vrabel's in a tier above those guys. No Todd Bowles. I would have Sean McVay. I think Kyle Shanahan's having a really good year in San Francisco.
Pretty good coach.
And he's a good coach. He's a good coach now. So you got
What about Pon-Shayton? Sean Payton. I don't know why I did that. Answer the question.
I did that either. Yeah, I'd put Sean Payton in that tier. I think Sean Payton's doing a very good job there, especially with that young quarterback.
How about DeMeco Ryans? I'd put him in the top 10.
Okay, I'd probably have him in the top 10. I think I'd have Vrabel ahead of him just because I do, in the same way I'm giving McVay a real nod because he's won a Super Bowl and he's been there in a way that Vrabel hasn't. Over Vrabel, I would give Vrabel the nod over Ryans because he's done things that Ryan hasn't done yet.
I just don't want to. This is great. And I don't want to spend too much time on it, though, because we veered. Let's get to the next level of conversation, however. Aside from the oversights and the players that the Patriots don't have, what is the national conversation? Not that the national conversation really matters. Who cares what, Colin Cowherd, who I like.
Yeah, we like these guys.
Because he likes me.
Nick Wright.
Nick Wright.
I
Does
like
he like
Nick
us?
Wright, yeah.
And the only reason we know whether or not they like us is because when they have us on, they're like,
right.
It's like when Jim Rome has me on every once in a while. He is the best beat writer in the National Football League. I'm like, Jim, I don't really cover the beat anymore. It's Tom Curran now joining us with Adam Schein.
Yeah, that's a good Adam
He
Schein
is
right
a brilliant. They say it to every guest. That's how they get you on for free. Okay, the national conversation matters zero. It's just a storyline for shows. You know that. I do too. It's not actual. Doesn't matter. But here's a portion of said national conversation from one of those shows no one cares about in terms of their opinions.
More higher on the New England Patriots. I can hear the comments now. Well, keep that same energy about the fool's gold. Wow, this about Drake May. Well, we needed to see. Mm-hmm. And when you start to see week in and week out how the New England Patriots perform, whether it's Diggs, whether it's Hollins, whether it's Hunter Henry, whether it's Austin Hooper, whether it's Kyle Williams, whether it's a Ramondre, whether it's Travion, whether it don't matter who the it is, they're taking turns making plays better than any team in football. Yes, Drake May is the orchestrator, but when you give guys opportunities, the amount of times that we've seen Matt Hollins climb ladder, then he gets up and he does his celebration, and then boom. These things are something that starts to give even me, a known hater to some people's thought process, I'm believing in the New England Patriots, and not for a reason for one specific person. It's a collective that these guys have made it in their minds to say, hey, we're going to take turns making plays, not mistakes.
Okay. And the reason I say people don't care about their opinions is because it doesn't matter. Mine doesn't matter. Yours doesn't matter. It's just thoughts. But in the larger scheme, do you think the Patriots are feared, or is it just Drake May? And as a result, would they be the preferred opponent of everybody in the AFC, except for maybe Pittsburgh and the Chargers?
Ooh. It's a good. The second question's a good one, but I think because the quarterback is playing as one of the best in the league right now, isn't that what you would want to avoid?
Yeah, but you're not going to look at the Patriots and go, my God, what are we going to do against that defense?
I think you might say, what are we going to do against that quarterback?
No doubt.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're
Isn't
going
that the
to
most important thing?
It is the most important thing, but are the Patriots feared? Just generally feared? Because of their mojo, because of their resilience, because of their depth, because of their talent, or because of their quarterback, and to an extent, offensive coordinator?
I think it is pretty much the second thing, meaning you're fearing them because Drake May has been very good and he has a good coordinator. You might fear them a tad because Mike Vrabel, I think, even though he hasn't won a championship as a head coach, he has clearly established a reputation as somebody who can manage the game and manage the clock and those types of things. That chess match, I think, is something that coaches care about, maybe not players. I don't know if you fear any team in the AFC right now, though, Tom. Do you? Wouldn't you say the same thing about Buffalo that you just said about the New England Patriots?
Yeah.
You wouldn't really fear the Bills other than they have the greatest quarterback on the planet. That's not Drake May yet.
Yes.
And
as a result, if I was an outside opponent, if I'm living in Jacksonville as a fan, God forbid, I would say, I don't want to play Josh Allen. I'd rather take my chances with Drake May.
Fair.
And I think if I was living in Denver, I would probably say I'd rather deal with Drake May here than Trevor Lawrence. And see, that's a hard one. Because I was about to say Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen, who's had a great season, really great season as a first-year head coach.
Definitely. I just look at it.
Who would you rather play?
I would.
Patriots or Jaguars?
I'd rather play the Jaguars because what is their outstanding feature? At least the Patriots have an outstanding feature at quarterback.
Cheekbones and the hair. I think it's very clear.
He is striking, that quarterback, but they don't have one.
So
I don't know if the Broncos have one, Tom. We just watched Jacksonville
their defense.
Their defense is very good. It's not the Broncos' defense from 2015 or 2013. It's very good. We just watched them give up. Did they not just give up 30 points to Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, but the Patriots.
And Jacoby Myers?
Yeah.
I mean,
hey.
What are we talking? I love Jacoby Myers. Nobody's a bigger Jacoby Myers fan than me.
I am.
Don't you hate me?
I'm a bigger
I'll hate
Jacoby
you.
Myers fan.
But they're not the 85 Bears.
Okay, but.
They're not the 2015 Broncos. They're not the 2014 Patriots.
Who's scarier, the Broncos or the Patriots? You're saying the Patriots.
All I'm saying is none of these teams are scary.
But
so
I'm asking you the question.
I'm taking that
just
word
asking
out of the lexicon.
The question.
Easy shine.
Just asking the question. Who would you be more afraid of if you were an outside entity?
I'd be afraid of Denver in Denver.
Would you be afraid of Houston anywhere ahead of Drake May?
I would rather play Houston than Drake May in the Patriots.
I don't know if I feel that way. Would you be? I would not be as afraid of Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin and the Steelers as I would be.
I would rather play the Steelers than the Patriots.
Would you rather play the Steelers than the Chargers? Excuse me. Oh, I just veered.
No,
oh boy!
How many combinations of this are we doing?
Would you rather play
this show?
With the 78 Cowboys against the 84 Eagles? Okay.
And by the way,
we could go.
Who would you trade Mike Vrabel for?
All time. I would take him for Sig Gilman. Jeez.
I'd rather play the Chargers than the Patriots.
I would too.
Okay. So the Patriots end up fairly high on your list. It sounds like maybe the Broncos.
Texans.
Oh,
and Bills.
You'd rather play the Patriots than the Texans. Okay. The Texans almost
I just
lost to the Vegas Raiders yesterday.
Patriots. Oh my God! I think the Patriots lost to them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
100 weeks
now
ago.
we're moving on. Trump card was laid down. I don't care when they lost. Was this the Patriots' best win of the season?
Shine would have never done that to me.
No, Shine.
No, it wasn't.
Phil.
I'm still going Buffalo first time around as the best win of the season. Week 5 puts you on the map. Your defense played well enough to hold the best quarterback on the planet to 20 points on the road, hostile environment, primetime situation, and the quarterback, while that was not a come-from-behind game-winning fourth-quarter drive, that was a game-winning fourth-quarter drive that the quarterback was able to put together. So that, to me, is the best win of the season because I think it not only puts you on the radar for the Shines and the Wrights and the
Which is
cowards
so
of the world.
important, which is very important.
It is important. I know you try to say that it doesn't. Right. It doesn't matter, but
That's
it
a
matters.
radar noise. Very silly.
No, but it probably gave them a level of confidence in themselves to be able to go out and beat good teams. So I'm saying Week 5 is still win number 1, but I think you would put last night's win over that one.
Yeah, I respect your right to be wrong.
Tell me why.
Because of the injuries that the Patriots had. They had no Milty. They had no Bobby. They lost Travion Henderson. They had no Will Campbell. Some of their best players were out. Also, they had Buffalo in their rear view. And as Drake May talked about, the elephant in the room when they got the ball at the end of that game, they had to vanquish a ghost. They had to slay a dragon.
A week-old
They had
ghost.
to exorcise a demon.
But no Lamar Jackson. That to me does.
Can I finish?
I'm just saying.
They had to they had to overcome that ridiculous fake punt.
You're still going. Okay, go
They
ahead.
had to withstand getting gashed by Zay Flowers and Derrick Henry for second half touchdowns, and look across and see Tyler Huntley go 9 for 10. And I look at all the things that they withstood and say that they blinked, but they opened their eyes again, woke up and won the game.
Well, so
that's why it's more impressive.
It's funny.
It's a decent-
It's just funny because we look at it in such different ways in that I would use all of those reasons that you just mentioned as reasons why it just wasn't a great game for them.
No,
was
it wasn't a great
great
game.
job by the offense late.
That's what I'm saying.
Great job by the quarterback late. As a team, lots to be concerned about coming out of that game.
Nope, you're right. But I think which game will you siphon? Because it's really only 2 games. We're not going to throw friggin' Tampa in there as a contender.
You didn't
it's
like
either the
Miami
Buffalo
week
game.
2?
It was a good one. Which would you, if you were a gerbil or a hamster, anything that sucks water out of those little tubes, and you were a team, and as that team you were a hamster, and the hamster had to choose between the Buffalo win and the Baltimore win to slurp that water as fuel for going forward, which one would you drink from?
Well, the Buffalo water is like 2 months old and starting to taste a little funky.
Which
like a
one is
little
going to propel
metallic.
further? See, it's a great conversation because the Buffalo win was a propulsion for the rest of the season.
Right.
This is propulsion for later.
I agree, but that to me is just all based on timing. If we're just looking at the games in
Yeah.
a vacuum, I still like the Buffalo game because I value the performance. I know they're missing a lot of guys in Baltimore, but it's not like they played all that well on defense with those guys out. Yeah, my mouth's going crazy because I haven't slept, and I'm drinking a lot of caffeine, and you're talking about gerbils and water, and I'm suddenly getting thirsty.
You know, I have an opinion. If they played that game in a vacuum, it would suck. All right.
People
What about-
shutting off their podcasts.
What about Noah Marr, who, by
Across
the way,
the globe.
basically said that the hit on him by Craig Woodson was a dirty play? Let me just read this because I'm not sure if we're going to get the quote. He was asked, Jackson was after the game, if it's been a terrible season with the injuries he's endured. He said, "Yeah, it's BS, bro. I can't control that. I'm on the ground. I'm down. I gave myself up. I got kneed in the back. But yes, for the most part, you can say that because I'm getting injured." Also, John Harbaugh said, we'll have to find out over the next couple of days with Lamar. He got kneed in the back on the ground there. They really, if you're just reading this and didn't see the play, they make it sound pretty diabolical. I did not. It took me a while to see the contact. When I did, I said, "Ooh, that must hurt." But Is this just the Ravens being the Ravens?
Yeah, and it's probably a head coach who knows that his time might be up in Baltimore. I mean, it sounds like, based on accounts from people who were there, you heard chants last night of fire Harbaugh. I know they've won a lot while he's there, but it hasn't been so much that you're immune to criticism when you should be a really good team this year. Now you've got a losing record, and you can't win at home. And you keep your best player on the sidelines for reasons we still don't know about 24 hours later when he hadn't been stopped really all night.
We're going to get to that soon. If you read what I sent you earlier, you would know that.
I've been busy.
You have.
Listening to Michael McDonald and such.
China Grove. I don't know if he sings China Grove. It must be another doobie. But do you think that the Patriots win lacks luster because Lamar Jackson wasn't in there? That's a tough sentence for a guy who sucks with his L's. Does that
Talk about resiliency.
Does that lack luster because Lamar wasn't in there?
No, because, again, this was an impressive win. The reason it was an impressive win was because of what the offense did late.
Late.
So, no Lamar. Lamar doesn't, generally speaking, play defense for the Baltimore Ravens. So it doesn't take away from what made this win impressive, in my mind. But it's a factor. I mean, it's one of the reasons why they wouldn't have been able to come back. You'd rather have Lamar Jackson out there than Tyler Huntley. Huntley played okay while he was in there.
9 for 10 for, 65 yards. But the problem was the Patriots were ahead 13-10 with Tyler Huntley in the game after halftime. And it wasn't Tyler Huntley's fault that
It was not.
Andrews flipped the ball to nowhere.
No.
It wasn't Tyrod Taylor. Excuse me. I'm going to continue to do that. Tyler Huntley getting a drive that ended with a Zay Flowers touchdown or a Derrick Henry touchdown, both of which he was able to accomplish. So they didn't suffer having him in there. That's why I look at this as it's a factor, but it's like 28. So when I look at that game and the injury factors the Patriots were facing, the deficit they were facing, the fact that Tyler Huntley did a good job, and the problem wasn't the quarterback really with Lamar Jackson out there to begin with necessarily. It was the run game. I'm not looking at that game and going, yeah, well, it would have been a lot different if Lamar Jackson was out there.
Well, you just don't know because they did stall at points in the second half with Huntley as the quarterback, and maybe those turn into scoring drives with a guy who's been an MVP in the past.
I guess to put a finer point on it, it's a factor. It's noteworthy. But if you're looking at it from a Patriots point of view in terms of import, it's like 11th. Yeah, no, maybe it would have been different if Lamar was there.
The Patriots don't care.
But we still
Again, this is an opinion thing. This is what you would say doesn't matter. This is all chatter. This is all talk. This is all narratives. I know you love that word.
Be intentional with your narrative.
No, I won't be, because I hate both of those words, having spent so much time around you. I think we do have to look at it, though, Tom. This is an MVP quarterback who leaves the game for a backup. Anytime a starter leaves for a backup, you're getting like a 50% drop-off, if not more, most of the time. And if Lamar Jackson is at all healthy, and I don't know if
was he going to go 18 for 10 passing in the second half? So
no, but you might be able to do a couple things out there with the ball that you couldn't do with Tyler Huntley. That's all I'm saying. It's okay to acknowledge that probably helped the Patriots.
It 1,000,000% did. It's just, we had a conversation on Post Game Live. Our tremendous producer said, "Do we want to talk about that?" I'm like, it's down the list. I'm showing a lot of neck today. Okay. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Yeah, you take it for granted, man. You take it for granted. What a beautiful sport. The best sport, out there. This game, it's brutal. There's times where, injuries and, losses that weigh on you. But, this winning feeling, there's nothing like it. And Coach reminded us that pregame. He says you can't buy that back, winning in that locker room. And, at his age, he always says, I wish I could, suit up again. And you just can't buy that. He said you can buy anything else in life, but you can't buy this time we're in right now, and what a time it is. So looking forward to celebrating with these guys, and just props to them. And, just thank the good Lord, what a position I'm in my life, and just stay strong in my faith, and good things happen.
All right, that was Drake May talking about kind of what I've been referring to. You just can't buy this. You can't buy it. You can't buy this time that the Patriots are in right now. These are the good old days. I'm really beating that into submission.
Well, I don't bastardize his take now. because I don't think he would say this is lightning in a bottle, which is what I've heard you say.
No, right, yeah.
I
He
think
said
he
you
would
can't
say,
buy
you
that
know,
back
we're
winning in
just-
the locker room.
We're just trying to enjoy it. He's trying to enjoy it. They're trying to enjoy it.
What a time it is. Phil, the injuries going forward, how concerned are you about them? They should get some guys back, but they also, Tonga got hurt. Help me.
Oh, well, Pop
Travion-
Douglas,
Pop
Keyshawn
Douglas.
Booty, Travion Henderson might be the biggest one. That looked pretty ugly there, that head injury, so you wonder how long he might be out. We'll see.
They can't keep getting blasted on the ground, though, which should get better with Spillane and Milton Williams out there, but they clearly are not the team that they appeared to be, at least statistically, early in the season. Here's Rex Ryan from ESPN talking about the Patriots just outright sucking against the run.
I mean, I've been on Vrabel as like this is the coach of the year, and Josh McDaniels, phenomenal job of coaching. Coaching let that team down last week.
Yeah, no doubt.
100% let it down. You had 3 rush attempts in the second half when you're up by, 20-something, nothing, and you had 3 rush attempts. That's absolutely absurd. And Josh McDaniels knows better. So does Vrabel. They got to be kicking themselves after giving this thing away. But they're facing the Ravens so they can get right. Oh, yeah? Be careful. Be careful. Because you talk about the kid, the defense tackle not being in there.
Milton Williams, yeah.
Milton Williams. They haven't been worth a darn at stopping a run since he's left.
Yeah.
And now Spillane's out. So I expect a ton of Derrick Henry. All right? And here's what I don't expect. Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is not even close to being the quarterback we've seen in the past. And the biggest thing to me is where's the rushing? Like, he hadn't had gain over 10 yards, scrambling or running with the football. And look, Jared Goff has a rushing attack, as a carry of 20 yards. Yeah. Where the hell has Lamar Jackson been?
He didn't.
He's not there.
Which brings us to Derrick Henry and brings us to John Harbaugh. Here's what John Harbaugh had to say about the absence of Derrick Henry. Looking back, would I rather have had Derrick starting the drive? Yes, but Derrick was kind of ready for – see, this is where he does things like this. And I got in trouble last week by inferring, but I'm going to do it again. Yes, but Derrick was kind of ready for Keaton to start that drive, and then he was planning in coming in the next. So they were working that rotation. Kind of made it – I mean, again, you'd think I'd learn, but I'm going to read between the lines anyway. Yeah, he wasn't ready to go out there. Does it sound that way?
It sounds that way.
Fair
It sounds like he was okay not being in the game, which is something that I don't think a head coach, unless he really had a problem with it and he felt as though the player tapped out in some. Why is he bringing that up?
The
Why do
rotation.
that?
He would bring up he would say, John Harbaugh would say, well, I'm bringing up the rotation because it's a rotation. That's what we were doing. But when he says Derrick was kind of ready for Keaton to start that drive.
Just call it the rotation and leave it at that.
Did he go over to Derrick and say, hey, can you go in? He goes, no, I'm ready for Keaton to start this drive. Or is he presuming? Again, I don't cover the Ravens. I got in the shit last week. So let's just stop it for now.
Can I give you another quick quote from him from earlier on Monday?
Sure.
He was asked in his day after press conference, John Harbaugh was, about Derrick Henry not being in the game. He says, looking back at it right now, I would have grabbed it and I would have said, no, put Derrick in the game. But that's not really the way it works in real time. Better answer, also indicative of a head coach who may not have a great grasp on what's going on in real time. Because if you're the head coach and you can't get one of your best players on the field, what are you doing there?
Great program. But there always has been a whiff of disorganization at key moments with that team. Look, and we watched the most organized, buttoned-down, hard-nosed, militaristic coach of certainly this century in Bill Belichick. And when you look at Billy Cundiff running on the field not knowing he's supposed to kick, and then the Ravens later on saying, well, we didn't know it was fourth down or what. We didn't. Whatever. Just get your shit straight. And they sometimes have an issue with that. Not all the time. Good team. Who knows what they'd look like if I was coaching them? Very disorganized. I couldn't even get here today for my news hit. All right. But the Ravens are among the teams that are on the outside looking in when it comes to the playoff race. And this is interesting, Phil, because I wonder if there's a changing of the guard that's going on. This is also going to be a glean question. What are you gleaning from this? Take a look at this ESPN preseason top 10. Eagles, Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, Lions. The Manders were at number 6. Packers, Rams, Bengals, and J.J. McCarthy's Vikings. Right now, the Chiefs, Ravens, Lions, Manders, Bengals, and Vikings are all outside the playoffs if they began today, and we would all be surprised. Green Bay and Buffalo are wild cards, the only teams actually leading their divisions. Of the 10, there are 2. Eagles, Rams. What do you glean from that?
It's hard to predict how the NFL season is going to shake out.
But is this a changing of the guard?
The Patriots are Exhibit A of that. No, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a changing of the guard. I mean, the Eagles, I think, are going to be a good team next year. The Ravens are going to be a good team next year. I think the Chiefs, if they add a couple of pieces around that quarterback, he's going to be hurt. But whenever that happens, they'll be back to being good.
What about the Wires? Jaguars going to be good next year?
I could see them being good. Yeah. I mean, do you count that as a changing of the guard? It's funny because there's not, I guess in the AFC, because we have these 4 quarterbacks who have been very good now for a significant period of time in Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, and Burrow, that is the guard.
It's really funny, and only one of them has gotten to a Super Bowl. No, Burrow got to a Super Bowl.
Burrow did get to one.
2 of the 4 have gotten to a Super Bowl.
But I could see this being a little bit of an end to this stage of life for the Cincinnati Bengals and their organizational arc.
They're out of adolescence. These are adults now.
I could see the same. I could say the same thing about the Ravens, and because of injury, we have to say the same thing about the Chiefs. So, sure, maybe you're right. Maybe I just changed my answer in the last 30 seconds discussing this with you. This is why I should read the email before the show begins.
It's all right. You do the breakdown with Teddy, and it's a great show.
Thanks. A lot of work goes into that show.
Let's do a quick drive-by on the New York Jets.
This one, not so much.
Brady Cook. I don't know what you said there, but I heard the Skull Crusher giggle. What did he say, John?
No, I said a lot of work goes into that show. The breakdown, this one, not so much. I meant on my end. You're doing a lot of show. Look at all that work you've done. It's right there. It's right in front of you. You've been reading from it the whole show. That's all Tom Curran. I'm just along for the ride, babe.
Jets stunk yesterday.
Yeah, they stink. You want to talk Brady Cook?
No, business should be taken care of, however.
Yeah.
They still don't have a pick. They still don't have a pick.
It's unbelievable. Hard to do. You would think. Like a deflection? Not even one of those? Popped it up in the air.
Imagine if Drake May throws a pick. I almost called him Drake, which would be very fanny. Imagine if Drake.
Yeah.
Imagine, especially when you're 58 years old, you can't be calling, hey, Drake. I think they'll take care of business. Merry Christmas, Phil.
Merry Christmas to you, Thomas.
There'll be no podcast on Thursday because you've all been very bad. But we'll talk to you Sunday in the aftermath. Wait a second. What was that song again? No.
Oh.
Tap on head, bunkunka, beard that's white. Must be Santa, must be Santa, must be Santa, Santa Claus.
Who's got a beard that's long and white?
Santa's got a beard that's long and white.
Who comes around on a special night?
Santa comes around on a special night.
Beard that's white.
Special night.
Must be Santa. Must be Santa. Must be Santa. Santa Claus.
Hey! Yeah.